When the soil turns to stone and the last of the wells go dry, a community's perspective shifts. Survival is no longer a matter of hard work. It's a matter of waiting for something impossible. At this stage of a crisis, logical solutions start to feel like dead ends. The exhausted mind begins to look past the horizon, searching for a fix that doesn't follow the rules of the world that failed them. For this village, that hope took the form of a story: the Blue Forest. Somewhere in its center sat an iridescent bird with the power to grant a single wish to anyone who could reach it. Aryan, a boy with a small pack and a clear goal, set out to find it. He wasn't a king or a conqueror. He was just the only one willing to walk into the unknown to ask for a miracle. If a miracle is a transaction, it raises a difficult question about currency. If you have no gold and no strength, what do you actually offer a force that already has everything? We often chase the spectacular fix, the bird, the wish, the sudden change of fortune, without realizing that the cure rarely resembles the legend that promised it. The edge of the Blue Forest doesn't just mark a change in geography. The trees pulse with a faint light, as if the entire woods are observing every step you take. A sheer rock face blocked the path forward. It was seamless, no cracks for a lever, no keyholes for a pick, and no obvious way to move it. Aryan didn't try to climb or break it. Instead, he gathered the smooth, loose stones at his feet and arranged them into the shape of a heart. The barrier didn't just break, it receded. The stone responded to the gesture rather than the force, opening a path that had been invisible a moment before. Inside, the forest continued this pattern of response. When Aryan grew faint with thirst, a leaf above him curled into a spout, channeling a stream of fresh water directly to him. Finally, he saw it, the bird, glowing with a shifting rainbow light. Aryan didn't ask for gold or power. He asked for a river that would never run dry for his village. Finding the source of the magic was only the beginning. The bird remained still, its feathers shimmering. A request is just words. A miracle requires a demonstration of value. The bird pointed to a single rose at the edge of the clearing. It was brittle, gray, and completely dead. If Aryan could bring it back to life, the wish would be granted. Aryan's water jug was empty. He had no tools, no seeds, and no way to conjure life out of the dust. He was standing in a magical forest, but he felt entirely powerless. He sat in the dirt and pulled the dead rose into his lap. He wrapped it in his own warm cloak to protect it from the chill, and as he thought of his village, his tears fell onto the dry stems. This is a direct resource exchange. Aryan is the healthy node. The rose is depleted. To survive, Aryan loses his own heat and hydration. The plant responds. Absorbing this surrendered energy, the node pulses, turning green as a red flower blooms. A flash of golden light filled the clearing. The bird took flight, its wings spreading a glow that reached far beyond the trees. Empathy isn't just a feeling, it's a transfer. It is the active, difficult work of moving your own resources into a part of the world that has run out. When Aryan returned, the transformation was already underway. A torrent of clear water was surging through the dry riverbeds, filling the village's banks for the first time in years. Aryan watched the water and thought of the rose. The bird had the power to grant the wish, but it had stayed silent until Aryan gave the rose his own warmth. The bird was just the witness to a change Aryan had already started. It's easy to focus on the bird, the spectacular, glowing object of the quest. But in this transaction, the bird was the only part of the system that didn't actually have to change. This is the trap of the MacGuffin. We worship the tool and ignore the sacrifice that powers it. Real-world droughts, whether they are a lack of water, a lack of resources, or the decay of a community, create a desperate urge to find a magical bird. We wait for the perfect policy or the sudden external savior to fix everything in a single stroke. But that wait is often what allows the drought to continue. The river didn't flow because of a bird's feather. It flowed because an individual stopped looking for a miracle and decided to give their own warmth to something that was dying. That is where the magic actually starts.